First contact gone wrong. Captain Maya Rice stood on the observation deck of the ESS Pathfinder, Earth's most advanced deep space scout vessel. The ship's hull gleamed under the light of an unfamiliar star system, the farthest humanity had ever ventured. Maya watched as her crew worked with practiced efficiency, cataloging astronomical data and preparing to deploy research probes. "Captain, we're detecting unusual energy signatures from the system's outer boundary," Lieutenant Kai Chen reported, his voice calm despite the anomalous readings flashing across his console. Maya straightened her uniform. "Natural phenomenon." "Negative. The patterns are too uniform, too structured. I've never seen anything like it." Before Maya could respond, the ship's eye interface, affectionately named ARIA, chimed in. "Captain, I've analyzed the signatures. They appear to be propulsion systems, multiple vessels approaching at substantial velocity." A chill ran down Maya's spine. Humanity had spent centuries searching for intelligent life among the stars. They had found microbial evidence on Mars and Europa, simple organisms on distant exoplanets, but never another spacefaring civilization. Until now. "Battle stations," Maya ordered, her voice steady despite her racing heart. Protocol Zeta 9. The crew moved with practiced precision. Unlike traditional military vessels, the ESS Pathfinder was designed differently. Earth's defense strategy had evolved over centuries. While maintaining conventional military forces, humanity had secretly developed specialized units. Adaptable, resourceful teams trained to function independently and improvise under unprecedented circumstances. The Pathfinder's crew represented the pinnacle of this philosophy. Each member was cross-trained in multiple disciplines, equipped with neural interfaces that allowed them to share information and coordinate without verbal communication. Their ship carried minimal weaponry but featured cutting-edge defensive systems and something the Earth Defense Council called technological recursion. The ability to rapidly adapt and modify technology based on enemy patterns. "Visual contact," announced Security Officer Leland Doi. The main view screen activated, revealing a sight that stole Maya's breath away. Ships, hundreds of them, emerged from what appeared to be artificially generated spatial distortions. They moved with unsettling coordination, their sleek, angular bodies reminiscent of predatory sea creatures. The vessels were a deep purple-black, absorbing rather than reflecting light, making their true size difficult to gauge. "Open all communication channels," Maya ordered. "Standard first contact protocol." The communication officer complied, broadcasting humanity's carefully crafted greeting message across all frequencies and formats. Mathematical sequences, visual imagery, and simple linguistic patterns designed by Earth's finest xenolinguists to communicate peaceful intentions. Seconds passed, then minutes. The alien vessels continued their approach, now arranging themselves in a formation that surrounded the Pathfinder. "No response to our hails, Captain," the communications officer reported. Maya nodded grimly. "ARIA, tactical assessment." The AI's voice remained eerily calm. "The alien vessels have deployed what appear to be targeting systems. Energy buildups consistent with weapon preparation detected. They're going to attack without provocation," Maya realized. "Defensive protocols. Now." The first energy blast hit before the words had fully left her mouth. The Pathfinder shuddered violently as its defensive shields absorbed the impact. "Shield integrity at 78%, ARIA reported. Unknown energy weapon type. Adapting shield harmonics." Another blast hit, and another. The bridge lights flickered. "Shields at 52%, ARIA updated. Adaptation in progress." Maya's neural interface buzzed with incoming data from her crew. They didn't need verbal orders. Years of training had prepared them for this moment. Each crew member knew exactly what to do. "Launch countermeasures," Maya commanded. The Pathfinder released a cloud of specialized nanodrones, microscopic machines that would analyze the alien weapons and transmit the data back to Earth. Simultaneously, the ship's engines fired. executing an evasive pattern that the computer had generated specifically to be unpredictable to non-human minds. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission," the communications officer announced suddenly. The view screen flickered, revealing a bipedal being with iridescent scaled skin and 4 amber eyes arranged vertically on its face. When it spoke, its mandibles clicked rhythmically. "Humans," the alien said, the word translated by the ship's advanced linguistic systems. "I am Commander Vex Cora of the Verax Collective. Your species has been assessed and found to be a potential evolutionary threat. Surrender your vessel for examination or be destroyed." Maya's mind raced. This was nothing like the peaceful first contact humanity had hoped for. "Commander Vex Cora, we are an exploration vessel on a peaceful mission. We pose no threat to your people." The alien's upper eyes narrowed. "Your biological and technological potential has been analyzed. The probability matrix indicates a 97.3% likelihood that humanity will develop capabilities that threaten collective supremacy within 3 of your centuries. Preemptive action is the logical response." Another blast rocked the ship. "Shields at 31%, Araya reported. Adaptation progress at 67%. Maya made a split-second decision. "Kai, activate the Chimera protocol." Lieutenant Chen's eyes widened momentarily before he nodded and began inputting commands. The Chimera protocol was a last resort measure, a technological sleight of hand that had never been field-tested. "Initiating Chimera," Araya confirmed. "Diverting power from non-essential systems." The Pathfinder's engines suddenly went dark. Emergency lights bathed the bridge in red. "What are you doing?" Commander Vex Cora demanded, his mandibles clicking rapidly in what Maya interpreted as confusion. "Our core systems are failing," Maya replied, feigning desperation. "Your weapons have damaged our propulsion matrix. We're losing power." The alien commander studied her for a moment. "Prepare to be boarded. Resistance will result in immediate termination." The transmission ended. "Are they buying it?" Maya asked. Araya's voice came through Maya's neural interface only. "Thermal and energy scans show the alien vessels are repositioning for boarding procedures. Chimera protocol functioning as intended." The Chimera protocol was ingenious in its simplicity. The ship appeared to be dying, its systems failing catastrophically. In reality, the Pathfinder was reconfiguring itself, shifting its power signatures to mimic system failure while covertly preparing its most advanced defensive measures. "All personnel, Phase 2, Maya ordered through the neural network. The crew moved with practiced efficiency, each person taking their assigned position for what would come next. Earth had theorized that any sufficiently advanced alien species would rely heavily on technological superiority. The Chimera protocol was designed to exploit this assumption. As the largest alien vessel maneuvered alongside the Pathfinder, extending what appeared to be a docking mechanism, Maya watched the countdown on her neural interface. 3 minutes until the protocol reached full power. "They're cutting through the outer hull," Security Officer Ndoye reported. "Deck 7, Section C." Maya nodded. "Let them come." The first alien boarding party encountered an apparently abandoned section of the ship. Their scanner technologies would detect human life signs concentrated in the central sections of the vessel. What they wouldn't detect were the microscopic defense systems embedded in the very walls of the ship. As the aliens moved deeper into the Pathfinder, Araya reported their progress through the neural network. When they reached the predetermined location, Maya gave the command. "Execute." The ship's internal defense systems activated. Not traditional weapons, but a series of electromagnetic pulses calibrated to the alien biology based on the scans they had taken. The aliens collapsed, incapacitated but alive. "Capture team, move in," Maya ordered. A specialized team rushed to secure the unconscious aliens, while others began analyzing their technology. "Captain, we've accessed their communications," Lieutenant Chen reported minutes later. They'd been transmitting data back to their fleet. "The Verax know about Earth's location." Maya's stomach dropped. How long do we have? Based on their propulsion capabilities, they could reach Earth in approximately 3 weeks. Maya's decision was immediate. Prepare the quantum buoy. We need to warn Earth. The quantum communication buoy was humanity's most closely guarded technological achievement. Instantaneous communication across any distance. The Pathfinder couldn't return to Earth in time to warn them directly, but the buoy would deliver their message instantly. What about the captured aliens? Asked Ndoye. Maya considered. We'll take one for further study. Release the others back to their ship with a modified memory imprint. They'll remember a successful attack on a primitive human vessel and believe we were destroyed. And then, Kai asked. Maya looked at the stars visible through the observation window. Then we follow them home. The best defense is knowing your enemy. As the crew prepared the quantum buoy, Maya recorded a message for Earth's Defense Council. She detailed everything they had learned about the Verax Collective, their technology, and their intentions. She ended with the words that would initiate Earth's most secret defense protocol. This is Captain Maya Rise of the ESS Pathfinder. First contact scenario. Hostile. Initiating protocol Silent Thunder. The sky is falling. I repeat, the sky is falling. Within hours, the quantum buoy vanished into subspace, carrying its vital message to Earth. The Pathfinder, running on minimal power to avoid detection, began its careful shadowing of the Verax fleet. Meanwhile, the aliens departed, confident that they had eliminated a human scouting vessel and gathered sufficient intelligence to plan their invasion of Earth. What they didn't realize was that the ESS Pathfinder was not just any ship. It was the vanguard of humanity's true defense strategy, a strategy that had been centuries in the making. As Maya watched the alien fleet disappear into the darkness, she allowed herself a small smile. The Verax thought they had encountered a primitive species. They would soon learn how wrong they were. The Reckoning. 3 weeks after the Pathfinder's encounter, Commander Vex Chorus stood on the bridge of the Verax flagship, the inevitable Dominion. Before him, the blue-green planet called Earth rotated serenely, unaware of its impending doom. His mandibles clicked in satisfaction as he reviewed the invasion plan once more. The human vessel we encountered provided valuable insight into their capabilities, he told his assembled commanders. Their technology is primitive, their defenses minimal. They rely on centralized command structures and conventional weapon systems. Our analysis indicates conquest will require minimal resources. Strategic Officer Mevtarl stepped forward. The execution will proceed in 3 phases. First, we neutralize their military installations and communication networks. Second, we eliminate their leadership structures. Third, we demonstrate our power by destroying several population centers. Historical data from 17 previous conquests suggests they will surrender within hours of Phase 3. Vex Cora nodded in approval. Begin the operation. The Verax fleet moved into position, their advanced cloaking technology rendering them invisible to Earth's detection systems, or so they believed. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in what had once been the North American Aerospace Defense Command Center, General Elena Santos received the final confirmation she had been waiting for. The quantum buoy message from Captain Rice was accurate, her intelligence officer reported. The alien fleet has arrived exactly as predicted and is positioning for attack. Elena looked around the command center, where representatives from every major nation on Earth worked in coordinated silence. The old political boundaries had disappeared the moment Maya's warning had reached them. Protocol Silent Thunder. The contingency plan humanity had developed for exactly this scenario was now in effect. They're targeting our military installations, a sensor officer announced. Energy buildups detected in their weapon systems. Elena's expression remained impassive. Let them fire. Initiate Phantom Protocol. Across the planet, in installations buried deep underground or hidden beneath the oceans, technicians activated Earth's true defense system. As the alien energy weapons discharge, striking military bases, communication centers, and government buildings around the world, something unexpected happened. The buildings shimmered and disappeared, advanced holograms vanishing to reveal empty land or decoy structures. The real facilities had been relocated or hidden years ago, part of humanity's long-term defensive strategy. On the inevitable Dominion, confusion spread through the command center. "What is happening?" Vex Cora demanded. "Our weapons hit their targets, but sensors indicate minimal damage." "The structures appear to be decoys," Mevtar replied, mandibles twitching nervously. "We're detecting unusual energy signatures emanating from across the planet's surface." Before Vex Cora could respond, the ship's sensors blared in alarm. Multiple small objects launching from the planet's surface. Hundreds, thousands of them. Across Earth, hidden launchers activated. Not massive missile silos or conventional defense platforms, but millions of small, distributed units concealed in everyday structures, water towers, office buildings, even private homes. Each launched what appeared to be simple metal spheres no larger than a human fist. "Primitive projectiles," Vex Cora scoffed. "Activate defense screens." The spheres approached the Verax fleet, then suddenly changed course, exhibiting impossible maneuverability. As they neared the alien ships, they fragmented into even smaller objects, each the size of a grain of sand. "They're penetrating our shields," an officer shouted in alarm. "The particles are too small for our defensive grid to track." The microscopic machines, humanity's nanite defense system, infiltrated the alien vessels through cooling vents and external sensors. Once inside, they began their work, analyzing the alien technology and sending continuous data back to Earth. In the underground command center, Alina watched as information flooded in. "The distributed intelligence network is receiving the data. Begin adaptive countermeasures." The DN, a quantum computing network that linked every defense installation on Earth, processed the information at speeds incomprehensible to human minds. Within minutes, it had identified weaknesses in the Varax technology and developed countermeasures. On the inevitable Dominion, chaos erupted as systems began failing one by one. Weapons offline, propulsion compromised, communications disrupted. Officers reported in growing panic. Vex Cora stared at the main view screen in disbelief as Earth's surface lit up with countless small energy signatures. Not centralized military bases, but a distributed network of defense platforms that had remained hidden until now. "This is impossible," he hissed. "Their technology was primitive. We destroyed their military installations." A communication request flashed on his console. Against his better judgment, Vex Cora accepted it. General Elena Santos appeared on the screen, her expression calm and professional. "Commander Vex Cora, I presume." "I am General Santos of Earth's Unified Defense Command." "How do you know my name?" Vex Cora demanded. "Captain Maya Rise of the ESS Pathfinder sent us quite a detailed report about you and your intentions. I believe you met her 3 weeks ago." Vex Cora's 4 eyes widened in shock. "Impossible. We destroyed that vessel." Elena allowed herself a small smile. "I'm afraid you were deceived, Commander. The Pathfinder is one of our scout vessels. It was designed to appear vulnerable, to gather intelligence while seeming harmless." The implications hit Vex Cora like a physical blow. "You mean to say, we only encountered a scout unit?" "Captain Rice commands one of our forward reconnaissance vessels. She's quite good at her job. Wouldn't you agree?" As if on cue, another communication channel opened. Captain Maya Rice appeared, standing on the intact bridge of the Pathfinder. "Hello again, Commander," Maya said. "I hope you don't mind, but we've been following you for the past 3 weeks. Your fleet's defensive algorithms are fascinating, though rather predictable once you understand the pattern." Vex Cora's mandibles clicked in rage and disbelief. "This deception changes nothing. The Verax Collective has conquered 17 species across 12 star systems. Your primitive planet cannot stand against our might." "About that," Elena interjected, "perhaps you should check your fleet status." Vex Cora turned to his tactical display and froze. 3/4 of his fleet had been neutralized, not destroyed, but rendered inoperable by the microscopic machines that had infiltrated their systems. "What is this technology?" he demanded. "We call it distributed defense," Maya explained. "Humanity learned long ago not to put all our eggs in one basket. As the saying goes, we developed systems too small to detect, too numerous to destroy, and too adaptable to counter. Every human on Earth is part of our defense network in some way." Alina continued, "Your species conquers through overwhelming force and centralized power. Humanity survives through adaptation and distribution. There is no single point of failure in our defense strategy." As they spoke, more of the Varax ships went dark, their systems compromised by Earth's nanite defense. Vex Cora realized with growing horror that for the first time in the collective's history, they faced defeat. "What happens now?" he asked, his voice subdued. "That depends on you," Alina replied. "Humanity is not interested in conquest or destruction. We defend ourselves, but we prefer peaceful coexistence. The collective does not negotiate with evolutionary threats," Vex Cora stated, but his conviction sounded hollow even to his own ears. Maya leaned forward. "Perhaps it's time for the collective to evolve its own thinking. The universe is vast, Commander. There's room for both our species to exist without conflict." Vex Cora considered this. The strategic assessment that had led to this invasion was based on the assumption that humanity was like other species they had encountered, centralized, hierarchical, predictable. But they had proven to be none of these things. "I am authorized to open diplomatic channels," Vex Cora said finally. "The collective will need to reassess its understanding of humanity." Alina nodded. "We welcome the opportunity. As a gesture of good faith, we'll assist in restoring your ships to operational status, minus weapons capabilities. You may return to your territory with our proposal for peaceful relations." As the communication ended, Vex Cora turned to his strategic officer. "Update the collective archives. Classification: humanity. Threat level: maximum. Special notation: do not engage." Back on Earth, Alina and her staff celebrated their victory. The Silent Thunder, humanity's distributed defense system, had proven effective beyond their wildest expectations. "Captain Rice is requesting permission to return to Earth," an officer reported. Alina smiled. "Tell her she's coming home to a hero's welcome." As the first diplomatic exchanges began between Earth and the Varax collective, humanity took its first steps onto the galactic stage, not as conquerors, but as defenders. The species that had evolved on a harsh world, learning to adapt and cooperate despite their differences, had proven that sometimes the quietest species could be the most formidable. And across the galaxy, word began to spread. "Be careful around the humans. They're not what they seem."